Well, Baylor soccer, by the way, the first game, exhibition game, they did lose 1-0, but honestly, they had 18 shots to three. I mean, to 6 shots total for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. But they didn't obviously didn't convert enough. And as Coach Paul Johnson said in his post game thoughts, it presented some scenarios that they would see in the regular season potentially, and they were exposed really good at times, and then they were really exposed. I mean, that one goal they allowed, the ball was on the right side, kicked the ball all the way to the left, and nobody was nearer. No defender was nearer, just a goalie in front, and the goalie, once the ball was kicked, the goalie didn't react quick enough to get the save. So, and they didn't start Jennifer Want, which I don't know why, but maybe it's just give the other goalie a chance. Anyways, the next game aim is a practice exhibition game against Texas State, who is a good team. 11-5-4 last year. They didn't make an NCAA tournament because they didn't win their conference tournament. But still, they are a dangerous team. They bring back firepower. And not only that, I mean, like, they have one player that's a senior this year. She had 18 goals by herself. 18 out of the team's 28. Whew. Okay, that's better watch out. Watch out for number 20. So really, and their goalie only allowed 8 goals with 91 who started most of the year. 8 goals with 91 saves. But everybody else that's returning is like 2 goals and 38 shots and 5 assists. Their assist numbers are pretty good. As well as 2 goals with 12 shots and 5 assists, which is good. Some of those players are just assisters. I mean, like, they give assists to that one player that scored so much anyway. So that will be a good challenge to have. And that's a good challenge because they will face teams like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I know the Big 12 predictions this year in women's soccer, which, by the way, for the conference tournament that's played in Kansas City, Kansas, they only have 8 teams for the whole entire tournament, which means one thing. Bottom 2 teams, they can't go anywhere. And the poll as it follows. West Virginia only have 4 first-place votes, 75 points total. Baylor, which that's pretty good, 3 first-place votes, 72 points total. Texas, 3 first-place votes, and 65 points total. TCU is 4th, 57 points. Texas Tech is 5th, 52 points. Kansas is 6th, 44 points. Oklahoma State, who did actually were in the top 25 last year, and they just went downhill from there with 33 points. Oklahoma is 8th, 26 points. Iowa State is 9th, 17 points. Kansas State only had 9 points, and they're the last team in the conference, predicted. But Kansas State, though, their program is brand new. I mean, within the first 4 years of that program. So, they do have to get something going. But I know, going back to that exhibition game, one of their players, Kaylee Abels, who was predicted to be a preseason Big 12 conference player, she got carted off the field. She got trampled on. and possibly had a stinger. I don't know. But they only took her out for precaution. Anyways, the regular season goes as follows. Northwestern State, August 25th at 4 p.m. That's not a strong team. I already looked. And that's the only home game in all of March, regular season-wise. Drake, not really. At August 30th, 7 o'clock in Des Moines, Iowa. Nebraska, September 1st at 7 p.m. Wyoming, September 6th at 7 p.m. Colorado, September 8th at 1 p.m. Arkansas at home, September 12th at 7 p.m. And by the way, Arkansas was only one of the 6 teams that beat Baylor last year. And Baylor last year, soccer-wise, they finished the season 20-6, going back-to-back Elite Eights, which is the first in the entire program. First time ever. And they were predicted to be second in Big 12 last year, and they still won a conference regular season. Though they went to the championship game like the year before, but they didn't win it because they lost to West Virginia 3-0. It was just not the typical game. But the year before, by the way, they were only a 5 seed, and they went to the championship game and won for the first time in 7 years. And then that team right there went all the way to the Elite Eight despite having a former champion in their way, USC, and they defeated them. Okay, back to the schedule. September 15th at 7 p.m., Abilene Christian University at Abilene. And Colorado is at Colorado, Wyoming's at Wyoming, and Nebraska's at Nebraska. Oh, USC. Ooh, that's a good match right there. September 20th at 7 p.m. Then September at home. And at home against Gonzaga on September 22nd. Then the next 2 games will be on the road at Kansas State on September 26th at 7 p.m. September 29th at 1 against Kansas and Lawrence. Then they play West Virginia here on August 3rd at 7 p.m. Then TCU the following week at 7 p.m. on the road. Oklahoma, October 13th on the road at 1 p.m. Okay, my computer's just not responding. Oh, never mind. Then they play Texas on October 18th at home at 7 p.m. And at home on October 24th is Texas Tech at 7 p.m. Then their senior day is October 27th against Iowa State at 1 p.m. And their last game is on Halloween. Regular season game is on Halloween at 7 p.m. on the road against Oklahoma State. Of course, there's the Big 12 tournament and not Kansas City, Kansas City, Missouri, but still. Then there's NCAA and all that. But looking at their schedule, they do have the majority of those key games, those teams that are either receiving votes or ranked in the preseason right now at home, which is a plus. Though I know last time West Virginia played at home, they barely lost. And same with Texas at home. But I do know some of those good opponents for Baylor. Gonzaga, they didn't make NCAA tournament last year. They were 10-4-4. Colorado was 13-4-1, but they didn't make any NCAA tournament. Abilene Christian University actually made NCAA tournament last year, and they actually played them twice in 1 year, and they defeated both times, 2-0, 2-0. USC is an obvious team that made the NCAA tournament. Same with Arkansas, that made the NCAA tournament. Wyoming was 12-4-4 last year, but they didn't make NCAA tournament because they didn't win their conference tournament. Nebraska's 9-7-5 last year, and they didn't make NCAA tournament. And the good news is their toughest road game in the Big 12 is TCU in Kansas. But don't get me wrong, though. You cannot underestimate any team in the Big 12. But it doesn't make sense that West Virginia is picked first. Because out of 45 goals they scored last year, 25 of them were by seniors. That's a lot of firepower gone. Compared to Baylor, who had 49 goals last year, and only 19 of them were by seniors. And some key players to look for, keep an eye out, is Jennifer Want, the goalie, if she gets to play. If she gets to start consistently, because she is rock solid. But some players include Cameron Windlet, who had 10 goals last year. And to think the year before, she only had 2. That's pretty amazing. Reagan Padgett with 6 goals and 6 assists. Julianne Gunham had 6 goals and 1 assist. Taylor Moon, who had 4 goals and 4 assists. Allie Henderson, even though she didn't have any goals on 29 shots attempted, she had 7 assists. Maddie Algie, last year she tore her ACL against Nebraska, which I'm sad. But the good news is she's not wearing a brace on her knee right now, which is a good thing. They did lose 3 starters, Ariel Leach, Sarah King, in the defender's spot. And then Julie James, who's now Julie Doyle. She's a professional soccer player, actually. And she graduated from Baylor, too. So that's... Elena Reyna had 2 goals only, but... And actually, the goalie, Jennifer Want, she used to be a field player growing up until her high school, until her senior year, until her freshman year in high school. Then she became a goalie. And she had actually an assist last year, which is the first time in a while. Anyways, that's the schedule and some key players to look out for. But as for predictions, I think they could win every single regular season game if they can. But I know it's not going to be easy because they do play competition. It's good to play competition because you got to get ready for the Big 12 and NCAA tournament and Big 12 tournament. But I do think they can repeat as Big 12 champions in regular season and potentially win the conference tournament. Though I think in non-conference games they can win every single one too. Though I know it's not going to be easy against USC. They're like in the top 10. And then, of course, Arkansas beat them last year, but I'm pretty sure they could get them back. They only lost by 1 goal. But one of those goals came late in the first half, and they tied the game up. And after Arkansas scored one more time in the second half, that was game. They just couldn't do anything. Anyways, I just want to share my thoughts on the Baylor soccer team this year. And I expect them to have a good year this year. And I know on Cameron since her first semester at Baylor, and her first semester at Baylor was my last. And that was in spring 2017. And I only knew her for a few weeks, but she surprised me with the Baylor soccer ball from all the current players at the time, with all their autographs on it, all the players. And to think, I just wanted them from that point on to succeed, because that's a special team right there. And what she did was amazing, and it goes to show the type of person she really is. Sick and Bears, let's go. Let's go to work this year, Baylor Soccer.